Joining us right now, no stranger to the show, keynote speaker, Coach Reed Maltby. Coach, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Excited to be here.
Pleasure to have you on, and I kept on following you on Twitter the last number of weeks. You're doing some great stuff, if I'm not mistaken, with the Cincinnati team in the USL League, and that's great action with some great young talent. Give us a little bit of info on that. A wonderful story, Cincinnati packing them in before we talk about parent education, Coach.
Certainly. So Cincinnati brought in a new team for the USL, FC Cincinnati. They made a huge splash. We're averaging just a shade around over 11,000 fans a game. Fantastic atmosphere. They're packing the stadium out. They've got an end zone area where they call the Bailey, and it's smoke bombs and drums all game. Playing really high pressure soccer. It's John Hark style soccer. So when you watch the boys play, the very short, close possession, everything is direct. We're trying to get forward with the ball, find seams, get a lot of opportunities at the goal. I really love what he's doing with it. And I got lucky. I got the opportunity to sit in the broadcast booth 2 weeks ago and call the game as the analyst, which was a real joy.
And it must have been a real joy for your family and a lot of your followers because you have given back so much to the grassroots now at the semi-pro level USL. You're doing a great job, so continued success there, Coach. I wanted to have you on to talk about parent education. We've always talked about player education, coach education, every other education, but I think we need to focus more and more on parent education. And again, this weekend, I was saying to our first guest, I was appalled and my stomach was turning upside down. I was getting ready to attend a semi-pro game. A couple hours I had to kill away, and there was a youth game next to it, and I thought, let me go watch a bit, make some notes as I'm watching, and then go to the semi-pro game. Under 10, parents yelling, swearing, cursing at the ref, giving it to the other team's players. Under 10, Coach. I couldn't understand it. I was shaking my head, and I was saying to myself, did I do this? And I said to myself, I did a bit of it, but not as crazy as some of the stuff I witnessed this weekend. How do we deal with this?
We've got a real issue here. As the toxic culture begins to grow, we're seeing a lot of these behaviors that we wouldn't do anywhere else come out. And I think as logical, rational, intellectual people, we'd step back and realize, man, I wouldn't act like this in a grocery store. I wouldn't act like this in church. I wouldn't act like this in the pediatrician's office. But the problem, I think, is that we've got this downward spiral. We've got clubs that, if you talk to some clubs, they don't want to communicate with the parents. They don't want anything to do with the parents because they've had such a negative experience that they consider the parents a cancer. And so they do what they call keep the parents at arm's length. And I've heard the phrase, they should stay on that sideline and not interact with us. And then what you have on the flip side is you have parents who, a lot of them just want to be educated. They want to know what's going on. These are their children. They don't know the process. They don't know what's happening behind the scenes. Why are clubs making the decisions they're making? Why is the coach doing what the coach is doing? Why is my son, for instance, why is my son passing the ball back and not booting it forward? I've heard that before. Why is our keeper not punting? And if we communicate as a club to our parents and we set expectations, this is our club, these are the behavioral guidelines, these are the values we're teaching our children, we need you to model them on the sideline. And by the way, this is our playing philosophy. This is what we are doing as a club. We need you to buy in. A lot of times that alleviates that pressure because now the parents at least feel armed with knowledge when they step into the game. But if we don't say a word to them, that concern on the far sidelines festers and becomes these nasty behaviors. And the second piece of that is parents have to start policing themselves. We had one issue recently. We had at a U12 boys game, and parents were screaming, "What the HE double hockey sticks are you doing? That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen," just screaming at the kids. And the kids were actually doing what the coach had been working on for weeks in training. So finally, one of the parents turns to him and says, "Stop it. You wouldn't like it if somebody yelled at you. These are 12-year-old boys, and that's not our culture. You find a different club if that's how you're going to behave."
Fantastic, because you know why, Coach Reed Maltby? The spotlight was put on that individual right then and there when that parent stood up and said what needed to be said, and good on them. And that's what needs to happen, Coach. Look, the other issue that we discussed with our first guest, and I want you to discuss about this, quite frankly, I'm tired of little groups, cliques amongst parents where you get 50% of the parents love and buy into the coach, 50% hate his guts and want to leave the team, and it becomes a toxic environment. I think this needs to stop.
I agree completely. And that's, that incident prompted me to send a club-wide email. And I think I started with my coaches, and then I tried to send something out to the whole club saying, look, we need to police it ourselves. We need to, as a group, realize that it's about our children. And so if we want the best environment for our children, we all need to be on the same page. Whether we choose or not, We are part of that cultural milieu. All of us belong in that culture, and we have an impact on it. And so parents need to police it. Parents need to come together. And you're right, these cliques need to stop. We see them everywhere. I get it. You're concerned. You don't like it because Johnny's not getting enough playing time, whatever your reasoning. But one, it's about Johnny. It's not about you. It's not about you going to the grocery store and bragging that Johnny's on the A team and plays the whole game. It's about his experience. And two, your toxic feelings creep into creating toxic feelings in other people. We have to step away and let the experience happen for our kids, and we have to police each other. And as parents who want a better process, who want a better environment, you've got to be the ones that can stand up and say, you know what, this isn't how we're going to behave in this club.
Bang on, Coach, bang on. The other part that I wanted to discuss that I, quite frankly, was disgusted and I think back to it, and I should have stood up and I should have said, things when they needed to be said, and I didn't, and shame on me, is I hate when parents, a lot of them do this, dissect, analyze the talent of each player on their son or daughter's team. And this player is no good in this position, and this player shouldn't be playing the full 90 minutes, and this player shouldn't be taking the PK, and on and on and on. I can't, what is this, a Euro team that we're discussing? A Copa America team? It's a young boy, a young girl's team, and they're dissecting it as if these are full-blown pros, Coach.
I agree. And the thing is the pros are they're less than 1%, but they're the 1%. And at age 12, we've got no 1%ers. Everybody's 100%er or 99%er because they're so young, we don't know where they are on the development scale. So we can't start treating these children like little pros and doing that. And also, as a coach, I don't show up at your work. You're an architect, and I don't say, no, the angle of that is wrong, and by the way, that structure is not going to hold. You're totally off on that. Or, you're a lawyer. I don't show up and say, your argument in court was weak today. I don't come and tell you how to do your job. If you're on the far sideline, no offense, but you've got to trust the professionals that you paid to take care of your children and let them do the thing. And again, back to communication. If you are sitting there on the sideline saying things, especially if they're negative about other people's children, it's being heard and it's imprinting on brains. And when you do it in the car and when you do it at dinner, wherever you go, when you do that, when you say those things, your children pick up on it. And guess what? They take your feelings and your thoughts as a proxy back to practice, and they take those feelings and thoughts out on their teammates. And so now you've created this team, this rift within a team because of how you felt about a situation.
Lastly, before we let you go, Coach, we appreciate your time early this morning joining us on Parent Education. Is the abuse you and I have heard time and time again every weekend? We hear it and we see stories all over of a parent losing their marbles, going after a young ref or a mature ref and taking a swing, unfortunately, or, throwing F-bombs, on and on and on. And a lot of these refs are human, just like you and I, and they make mistakes, and they get paid peanuts. They do it for the love of the game. Without refs, there's no games. Look, I have not had a lot of great things over the years to say about some of the refs that should be doing a lot better by themselves, training and getting educated better. That's fine. I'll take that. Personally, I should learn from that. But they're still human beings, and they're not paid a lot. Without them, there's no games. So I think everyone needs to chill and let the head coach do the talking on a bad call, and not the parents swearing and yelling.
I completely agree, and we have an epidemic that we're colliding with a time frame now of we may never have enough referees because we're driving the young ones out early. You're 15 years old, and you've got adults 2 to 3 times your age screaming at you. You're not going to want to come back to the game as a ref. And so we have to be very careful as parents that we're driving out the next generation of referees. Coaches, this is a simple fix for coaches and clubs. We've got to continue to educate our parents. Look, the 1%, the outliers are the ones that do these things. The outliers are the ones that scream at kids. The outliers, it's the outlier, but they're the ones that we highlight. Most of the people in our clubs are doing it the right way, and we need to continue to model that. So club leaders need to be at the field. You need to be there. And what I do is I go and I stand with the parents. Something starts to happen, I step in amongst them and go, all right, let's calm down for a minute, people. Or just seeing me standing there, they go, the other day I came walking up because some parents were upset, and one of them goes, uh-oh, the principal's coming. They know that when I'm coming business. So it's just club leaders and coaches, you need to continue to educate your parents and let them know, look, I will take care of your child. If your child is put into an injury situation or the refereeing is so bad that it's backwards in our development, it's ruining the development process we have and not teaching the game, I will talk to the referee. Otherwise, let me handle it, please. Because the other big thing is these kids, they feed off our emotions again. So if you've got 8-year-olds and you're screaming at the referees, how are they behaving on the field? all of a sudden they've tipped the anxiety scale and they're no longer performing at optimum level.
Absolutely. Coach, outstanding. Fantastic feedback. Love picking your brain on topics like this. It's great having you on once again. Don't be a stranger. We'll get you on as the summer continues on whatever hot topic that we need to discuss to help one another here in North America, because we all say that we want to be recognized and respected by South American and also the European soccer nations, and we have to start doing a lot more than what we're doing when it comes to parent education. Coach, thanks so much again. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Love being on the show. Love what you're doing. Keep doing it.